option, should you choose to accept it, is to face your fate. Pursue us, you will be caught. Resist us, you will be killed. And your precious secretary will disavow any knowledge of your actions.
What does it really take for a movie franchise to survive across generations, across changing audience tastes, across technological revolutions, and across the relentless pressure of time? Hollywood is a place where success is temporary, where yesterday's blockbuster becomes today's forgotten title, and where even the most beloved franchises collapse under their own weight. Yet somehow, one series defied every rule. One series refused to age, refused to soften, and refused to become irrelevant. That series is Mission Impossible. To understand how Mission Impossible became one of the most successful and respected action franchises in cinematic history, we must go far beyond box office numbers and famous stunts. We must understand vision, control, obsession, fear, trust, and a relentless commitment to authenticity in a world increasingly built on illusion. Long before Tom Cruise ever sprinted across rooftops or clung to airplanes mid-takeoff, impossible existed as an idea. In the 1,960 seconds, the original television series wasn't about explosions or lone heroes. It was about strategy, about deception, about patience. Teams studied their targets. Plans were layered. Mistakes had consequences. The excitement came not from chaos, but from precision. This foundation quietly shaped everything that would come later. When Hollywood revisited the property decades later, most executives saw risk. The brand was old. Younger audiences didn't care. Spy stories were already dominated by James Bond. But Tom Cruise saw something different. He saw a framework, not a formula. He saw a concept that could evolve endlessly. And most importantly, he saw a chance to control his own destiny in an industry that discards stars without warning. At the peak of his fame, when most actors would have played it safe, Tom Cruise chose uncertainty. He formed his own production company. He became a producer. This decision cannot be overstated. Mission Impossible succeeded because its star was not just performing, he was steering. Every creative risk, every director choice, every stunt decision flowed through him. The first Mission Impossible film in 1996 was a quiet rebellion against the action genre of its time. Instead of opening with spectacle, it opened with paranoia. Trust was shattered. Allies became threats. The famous CIA vault scene became legendary, not because of scale, but because of restraint. No music, no dialogue, every movement mattered. Audiences leaned forward, holding their breath, fully aware that a single mistake would mean failure. This scene taught Hollywood a lesson it would forget many times afterward. Tension is more powerful than noise. Ethan Hunt was introduced not as a flawless hero, but as a man betrayed by his own system. He didn't dominate situations, he adapted to them. He didn't win because he was the strongest, but because he refused to quit. This human vulnerability separated him from the untouchable action icons of the era. As the franchise continued, it encountered growing pains. Impossible 2 pushed style to its limits. Slow motion, dramatic action, operatic visuals. It polarized audiences. Critics questioned the identity of the series. But failure didn't end it. Survival did. And survival taught Mission Impossible its most important lesson: flexibility. Instead of locking itself into one tone, the franchise embraced reinvention. Each director brought a different voice. Brian De Palma gave paranoia. John Woo gave style. J. Abrams gave emotional grounding. Brad Bird gave scale and momentum. Christopher McQuarrie gave coherence, depth, and maturity. Few franchises have ever allowed themselves this level of creative variation without collapsing. What truly elevated Mission Impossible was its understanding of consequence. Actions mattered. Characters remembered past events. Relationships carried forward. Ethan Hunt wasn't resetting after each movie. He was accumulating scars, emotional and physical. Then came the moment that redefined everything. Ghost Protocol. When Tom Cruise climbed the Burj Khalifa, the tallest building in the world, cinema changed. Not because it looked impressive, but because audiences knew it was real. This wasn't a digital illusion. This wasn't a camera trick. This was a human body against gravity. Fear returned to action cinema. real fear, the kind that tightens the chest. From that point onward, Mission Impossible became synonymous with authenticity. While Hollywood chased convenience through CGI, this franchise chased danger. Real planes, real helicopters, real free falls, real exhaustion, real risk. Audiences may not consciously analyze realism, but they feel it. The brain responds differently to genuine danger. Muscles tense, breathing changes, trust forms. Mission Impossible didn't just entertain, it earned belief. Another key to its success was teamwork. Unlike most action franchises that revolve around one unstoppable figure, Mission Impossible always emphasized collaboration. Luther was intelligence. Benji was anxiety and humor. Ilsa was independence and mystery. Julia was humanity. Ethan Hunt didn't succeed alone, and that made victory meaningful. Music played its role too. The theme wasn't just a tune, it was a signal. It told audiences they were back in a familiar world. The countdown timers, the self-destructing messages, the masks, these became rituals, familiar enough to comfort, flexible enough to surprise. As years passed, the franchise faced its greatest enemy, time. Action stars age out, bodies slow, audiences move on. But instead of hiding age, Mission Impossible incorporated it. Ethan Hunt ran harder because time was chasing him. His breath grew heavier, his face showed strain, and that honesty made him more compelling than ever. While other franchises relied on nostalgia, Mission Impossible relied on escalation. Each film asked not, how do we repeat this, but how do we raise the cost? Not bigger explosions, but bigger risks. Personal risks, moral risks, physical risks. The success of Mission Impossible was never accidental. It was engineered through control, obsession, and respect for the audience. It treated viewers as intelligent participants, not passive consumers. It trusted that people could appreciate silence, tension, and consequence. And perhaps most importantly, it understood one timeless truth. People don't remember spectacle, they remember how something made them feel. Impossible made audiences feel fear, tension, admiration, and trust. And as long as that trust remains unbroken, the mission will never truly end.